Om Ganpate Namaha. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. So, so as we start, we seek the blessings of Ganesha. There is this exuberance, this ecstasy, this joy about Ganesha, and especially the dancing Ganesha. And I think I already saw all your comments. It is so expressive that everyone can experience it. And I think all of you felt that joy when you see Ganesha dancing. And this joy is present whenever we start new things. Once I was telling Shivu that there was something I had been working on for a while, and I got it, and I told Shivu that I am not feeling this great joy. Shouldn't I be feeling this great joy because I've been working on it? And he told me that you will get satisfaction if you have worked for something really hard. You will get satisfaction, but the joy comes in new things when you start something new. And there is, um, I would ask you to go back to a time where you started something new. And if you can remember, there is something very pure about that joy, very innocent. There is a childlike wonder. It's really childlike. There's an awe. And that is what this card represents. It represents many things. There is a reason why they have Ganesha in the why we pray to Ganesha in the beginning, because they say that even if you are doing a very good work, very neck work, there will be thousands of Dev Purush who will come in your way. So obstacles are going to come in your way. And that is why you have this grace of Ganesha. You take the blessings of Ganesha to overcome these obstacles, and that's where you're learning also. So let's start looking at the image of the fool. Now there is a reason why I want you to see the Rider Waite as well as the Sacred India, and I'll give you the reason tomorrow maybe in one more of the philosophy of why we need to look at all these cards. So look at the Fool, right? Now start observing everything about the card. What is the surrounding? What is his expression? What is he wearing? What is he carrying? Who else is there in the background? See what the symbolism is, because there's a lot of symbolism in tarot cards. So I think a lot of you already saw that he's not even looking down, he's looking up. He is. And if you look at the picture, he is bigger than even mountains. That is how he sees himself. He thinks he can do everything. So our zero, I mean our hero, right? He thinks that anything is possible, and it is. But there is this saying, ignorance is a bliss. So in his case, that is what it is. He doesn't really know what is going to come up. So, and if you see, he has one foot, it is at the edge of the cliff, right? So, one more foot he puts around, he can fall down. Now, we don't know what is at the bottom of the cliff. Is it something really good? Is he going to break his head? We don't know. So that's the thing about the Fool. There is a, it's a brand new adventure. It's a brand new adventure. Now, start observing what are his clothes, what time of the day it is. He's carrying a bag. What is in the bag? Is it baggage? Or is it his talents? What is he carrying? He's carrying everything. And he's carrying both actually. He's carrying baggage also, perhaps. Or it can be that he's carrying whatever his gifts are. He may not and see it's inside the bag. Again, there is symbolism there that these gifts are not yet expressed to the world, they are still hidden. And perhaps he thinks it is in his bag and he doesn't even know what they symbolize. Some people have that intellect, some people have this emotional maturity, but they themselves don't know. They haven't been tested, so they don't know yet what they have. So, look at every detail, because so many of these paintings have been done when a person is in some kind of psychic union, in some kind of psychic trance, that they themselves. I have read interviews of Pamela Smith, and she said there's so many times, she herself, after the painting, she's like, how did this get here? Someone observed and made a comment, and she's like, I was not even planning to put this in here in the picture. So then ask yourself, what are the qualities that a fool needs? It is always a risk to go on an adventure. It is risk, and see how much the fool is carrying. You cannot take everything with you in an adventure. You can take you can take only a few things, so you are leaving behind the settled, comfortable life. What are the qualities you need? You need trust, right? Because you need to trust, because on an adventure there aren't really maps. It is not charted territory, it's uncharted territory. So you have to trust that you don't know what is going to come up. You cannot be prepared for everything, because you don't know what that everything is going to be. So you have to trust. You need tremendous courage. Now, the one thing is that every creator, explorer, inventor in the world was considered a fool by people. Whenever someone has tried to do the impossible, they thought he was a fool. And he probably was. But only a fool can bring about something in the world. Only a fool can bring about something new in the world. Once upon a time, in King's Court, there would be a jester, a clown. And he would be a fool in the sense he would be totally unafraid. And he would state the obvious. Now, the rest of the courtiers would be very clever. They know that they have to please the king. They know what is at stake. They know that they know their self-interest. So they are going to say what pleases the emperor, or they're going to be manipulative. They're going to be like, maybe not today. So, so they cannot always say the truth. But a fool who doesn't really know the risks or the consequences, he can say the truth. So most kings would have a jester who would tell the truth exactly the way it is. So for questions, I'm going to write it down, but what I want you to do, and I'll share more about the fool tomorrow, but I want you to think about a time where you were a fool, where you risked everything for going on a brand new journey. And I want you to remember, what was the adventure like? What lessons did you learn? What obstacles came? What mistakes you made? And how were you feeling at that time? And how do you look at it right now? In fact, if you had to write a letter to that fool that you were, what would you want them? What would you tell them to do? And then I want you to do a synthesis. And in synthesis, I want you to, at the end of every card, at the end of the day, we will sleep on it. So, but before we sleep on it, we'll ask ourselves some questions. Do you still have that childlike wonder and awe of life? Is there a grand adventure you're waiting to go on? What are you carrying in your bag? What is the baggage you're carrying? Uh, have you made a mistake? Have you gone on an adventure and felt that you actually made a mistake? So So I'm going to write these two questions, but this is some of my understanding about the tarot. Oh, one more thing. If you look at the Osho Zen, right, you see the gesture. Sorry, you see the fool, and look at his clothes. He is actually wearing all the elements. Okay, he's wearing all the elements. So he's wearing the color of fire, the color of water, the color of earth, and the color of uh, earth, water, fire, and air. Okay, he's wearing all these. So what it means is, in tarot, fire is your spiritual powers. Okay, your spiritual fire. Water is emotions. Air is mind, or it is the intellect, and earth is resources or money. So he is wearing all this. So he has all the intellect, he has all the emotional maturity, he has the fire in him, he has the resources, but he just doesn't know it yet. And that is his whole journey. That is the hero's journey, or the zero's journey, where the hero, he sets out, he goes through all kinds of obstacles, and he is tested, he's challenged, and in that all his talents come out, and then he expresses it to the world. And that's when he that's the last card where he's expressing it all to the world. Then he becomes the real hero. And that's the whole hero's journey. The treasure that he's looking for is within him, but unless he goes on his adventure, he will never know what that treasure is. So that is what the fool is. Okay,